Let's go inside the Staples Center, where I understand the memorial service is about to continue.
Some of the greatest musicians of our time are no longer with us, and you probably didn't even hear about it. From chart-topping legends to underground pioneers, here are 20 famous musicians who passed away recently. Number 1 will leave you speechless. 20. Mary Weiss, 75. Did you know that one of the most iconic voices of the 60s has been silenced forever? Her voice once defined teenage rebellion. Mary Weiss, lead singer of the Shangri-Las, passed away on January 19, 2024, but her legacy as a pop icon still lives on. She was the voice behind Leader of the Pack, one of the most dramatic and unforgettable songs of its era. Known for her rebellious image and tough girl persona, Mary and her group reshaped girl groups with a raw, emotional edge. Her music wasn't just about love, it was about heartbreak, danger, and teenage dreams crashing down. Even Andy Warhol was a fan, calling her music art disguised as pop. In recent years, she had stepped away from the limelight, but her impact on music was undeniable. The Shangri-Las were once banned from a show because their music was considered too rebellious for young audiences.
And I think maybe in the next time we have an idea for you.
19. Frank Farian, 82. You may not recognize his face, but you've definitely danced to his music. His genius built empires until a shocking scandal destroyed everything. Frank Farian, the mastermind behind Boney M and Milli Vanilli, passed away on January 23, 2024. His disco beats dominated the 70s, making Rasputin and Daddy Cool timeless hits. However, his career took a dark turn when he secretly created Milli Vanilli, a duo that won a Grammy, only to have it revoked when the world learned they never actually sang a single note. Despite the controversy, Farian's impact on music remains undeniable. His production skills transformed artists into global sensations, and his music still fills dance floors today. Love him or hate him, his ability to craft hits was unmatched. Boney M. Rasputin became a viral sensation decades later, proving that great music never truly dies. 18. Melanie, 76. She was the voice of a generation. Her songs were played at Woodstock, yet many have forgotten her name. But her music lives on. Melanie, the folk singer best known for Brand New Key, passed away on January 23, 2024. She was more than just a singer, she was a symbol of the 1960s counterculture, bringing hope and innocence to a turbulent era. With her unique voice and heartfelt lyrics, she captivated audiences at Woodstock 1969, performing under candlelight when the power went out. Her biggest hit, Brand New Key, was so catchy that some mistook it for a children's song, though others interpreted it as a cheeky metaphor. Beyond the hits, Melanie was fiercely independent, turning down big labels to keep artistic control. Even after decades, her music found new life in films and commercials, proving her melodies were timeless. Melanie was one of the first female artists to own her own record label, an unheard of move in the male-dominated industry.
I'm going to make it. The doctor looked at him and said, no, you're not going to make it.
17. Aston Family Man Barrett, 77. Without him, Bob Marley's music wouldn't have been the same. He built the sound of reggae, yet many don't know his name. Aston Family Man Barrett, legendary bassist for Bob Marley and the Wailers, passed away on February 3, 2024. His deep, groovy bass lines gave reggae its heartbeat, shaping hits like No Woman No Cry and Buffalo Soldier. His influence extended beyond Marley's music. He mentored generations of reggae artists and producers. But his life wasn't just about music. Aston was known for his nickname, Family Man, because of his devotion to his children and bandmates. His bass playing was so smooth that even rock legends like Paul McCartney cited him as an influence. His passing marks the end of an era, but his grooves will forever echo through reggae and beyond. Aston Barrett helped develop the signature one-drop rhythm, the backbone of reggae music, influencing everyone from UB40 to modern reggae fusion bands.
Sometimes a record store would also sell musical instruments, and you could get like music lessons there.
16. Wayne Kramer, 75. His guitar riffs fueled a musical revolution. He was once jailed for drug charges, but his comeback made him a rock and roll legend. Wayne Kramer, the guitarist for MC5, passed away on February 2nd, 2024. Known for his raw energy and rebellious spirit, Kramer helped create a blueprint for punk rock before punk even had a name. MC5's song Kick Out the Jams became an anthem for defiance, inspiring bands like The Clash and Rage Against the Machine. But his life wasn't just about music. He faced hard times, spending years in prison for drug-related charges. Instead of fading away, he made an epic comeback, using his experience to help incarcerated musicians through his non-profit, Jail Guitar Doors USA. Wayne Kramer didn't just play music, he lived it, fought for it, and left behind a legacy of rebellion and resilience. The phrase, "kick out the jams, motherfuckers," was so controversial in 1969 that MC5's album was banned in multiple stores.
You look ridiculous, as usual.
Are you ready to see now?
15. Linda Nolan, 65. Her voice lit up the charts, but behind the scenes she was fighting battles no one knew about. Her story is one of strength. Linda Nolan, part of the Nolans, passed away on January 15th, 2025. Alongside her sisters, she became a pop sensation with hits like I'm in the Mood for Dancing. Their music was pure disco joy, topping charts in the UK, Japan, and beyond. But Linda's life wasn't all glitz and glamour. She faced multiple battles with cancer, becoming an advocate for early detection and health awareness. Even as she fought her illness, she continued performing, inspiring countless fans with her resilience. She was more than a singer. She was a fighter, a performer, and a woman who never let the odds define her.
Tired of expensive, low-effort script writers for your YouTube channel? Autoscripter.ai is the ultimate solution. Say goodbye to low-quality, poorly retention amateur scripts that fail to generate thousands of views for your channel. At a fraction of the cost, Autoscripter.ai helps your videos go viral. In just 3 steps, Autoscripter.ai creates a polished script tailored to your needs. Just input your title concept, select your tone and style. The intuitive interface makes editing and refining effortless, fast, smart, and trusted by hundreds of satisfied users who have already discovered the amazing tool. Start your free trial today and watch Autoscripter.ai transform your YouTube channel. Just click the link in the video description below now.
The Nolans were so popular in Japan that they outsold the Beatles there for a time, proving that disco fever knew no borders.
I just got around, I think it got into about 90 something, but it didn't really do very well. I thought it'd be a good idea for a
14.
single.
John Sykes, 65. His guitar solos melted faces, but behind the scenes his talent was overshadowed by internal band drama. Yet his true legacy speaks through his riffs. John Sykes, legendary guitarist for Thin Lizzy and Whitesnake, passed away on January 20th, 2025. His fiery solos on Still of the Night and Thunder and Lightning set a new standard for rock guitarists. When Whitesnake's self-titled album skyrocketed to 8 times platinum, many didn't realize Sykes was the genius behind its hardest-hitting riffs. Yet, despite his talent, Sykes often clashed with band members, leading to his shocking departure from Whitesnake just before their biggest success. Still, his work inspired generations of guitarists, and his distinctive Les Paul sound remains one of the most celebrated in rock history. His Whitesnake solo on Crying in the Rain is often ranked among the greatest guitar solos ever. Pure rock and roll fury.
Called the Capers. This is in London, Ontario.
The Capers?
Yeah, it's 1958.
13. Garth Hudson, 87. The quiet genius behind the band, he never chased the spotlight. But without him, their sound would never have been the same. Garth Hudson, keyboardist and saxophonist for the band, passed away on January 21st, 2025. While the band was known for its rootsy Americana sound, it was Hudson's eerie organ work on tracks like The Weight and Chest Fever that gave their music a mystical depth. Unlike his wild bandmates, Hudson was reserved, often lost in his own world of music theory and sound exploration. Even Bob Dylan once said that Hudson's playing was light years ahead of anything else in rock. His genius stretched beyond the band, working with icons like Van Morrison and Eric Clapton. Garth Hudson was so musically gifted that he was originally hired as the band's music teacher to convince his parents rock was a respectable career.
Nice to meet you, everybody here. So that's a good amount of the people because I can see almost everybody.
12. Damo Suzuki, 74. He was never supposed to be a rock star until a chance street performance made him the voice of one of the most influential bands ever. Damo Suzuki, the unpredictable and mesmerizing vocalist of Can, passed away on February 9th, 2024. His journey into music was almost accidental. He was discovered busking on the streets of Germany and was invited to sing for Can the same night. Unlike traditional rock singers, Suzuki didn't follow lyrics. He improvised everything on the spot, creating a hypnotic, otherworldly experience. His work on albums like Tago Mago and Future Days turned Can into one of the most innovative bands in music history, inspiring Radiohead, David Bowie, and even hip-hop producers decades later. Suzuki quit music for years to become a Jehovah's Witness, only returning after realizing he had unfinished musical business. 11. Mojo Nixon, 66. His music was outrageous, his humor was wild, and his personality even wilder. But behind the madness was a man who loved shaking things up. Mojo Nixon, the rockabilly troublemaker known for Elvis is Everywhere, passed away on February 7th, 2024. He never played by the rules. His songs poked fun at pop culture, politicians, and even MTV, who banned him more than once. Despite his comedic approach, his music was deeply rooted in rockabilly tradition, blending Johnny Cash-style grit with punk rock energy. Over the years, he became a beloved radio DJ and a counterculture icon, proving that rock and roll should never take itself too seriously. Mojo once wrote a diss track about Debbie Gibson, who later admitted she actually loved the song.
Started to wear red.
Me too.
You got it. What we're so pleased.
10. Henry Fambrough, 85. His voice carried soul music through generations, but few knew the man behind the magic. His harmonies shaped some of the greatest R&B hits ever. Henry Fambrough, one of the founding members of the Spinners, passed away on February 7th, 2024. His smooth baritone harmonies gave life to classics like Could It Be I'm Falling in Love and I'll Be Around. He was the only original member to stay with the group for over 60 years, witnessing the golden age of soul firsthand. The Spinners weren't just another vocal group. They set the gold standard for 70s R&B. Even after countless lineup changes, Fambrough remained the heart of the band, performing well into his 80s. His legacy lives on through the countless love songs that still make hearts melt. The Spinners were once rejected by Motown, but later became one of the best-selling R&B groups of all time under Atlantic Records.
had just finished doing a run playing guitar with Albert King.
9. Donald Kinsey, 70. He was the guitar genius behind reggae's greatest anthems, but his name was often overshadowed by the legends he played with. Donald Kinsey, one of the key guitarists for Bob Marley and the Wailers, passed away on February 6, 2024. His blues-infused guitar style helped bring Marley's message of unity to the world, especially on songs like No Woman, No Cry. Kinsey's talent wasn't limited to reggae. He also played with Albert King and Peter Tosh, blending blues, rock, and reggae in ways few musicians could. Despite working with global icons, he never chased the spotlight, instead letting his music do the talking. Donald Kinsey once played in the Kinsey Report, a blues band formed with his brothers, proving that music truly ran in his blood.
Feel good.
You do?
Yeah.
You're busy, Toby.
Yeah.
You don't stop, do you?
Well, I did for 2 years.
Well.
8. Toby Keith, 62. He was America's country music rebel, unapologetic, patriotic, and larger than life. But few knew the personal battles he was fighting behind the scenes. Toby Keith, the country superstar behind Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, passed away on February 5th, 2024. He wasn't just a singer, he was a symbol of American pride, known for his fiery anthems and no-nonsense attitude. His music celebrated life, hard work, and freedom, making him one of the best-selling country artists of all time. Despite his tough persona, Keith had a soft side, quietly donating millions to children's cancer charities. His final years were spent fighting stomach cancer, yet he never stopped performing, proving his resilience till the very end. Toby Keith turned down major record labels early in his career, only to become one of country music's most successful independent artists. 7. Zakir Hussain, 73. He made a centuries-old instrument famous worldwide. His fingers moved faster than the eye could see, mesmerizing millions with every beat. Zakir Hussain, the legendary tabla virtuoso, passed away on December 15, 2024. He wasn't just a musician, he was a magician with rhythm, blending Indian classical music with jazz, rock, and global sounds. His collaborations with John McLaughlin and George Harrison brought Indian percussion to the mainstream. A child prodigy, he started playing tabla at age 3 and was performing with legends by his teens. His live performances were pure electricity, leaving audiences in awe of his precision and speed. Even today, no one plays the tabla quite like him. Zakir Hussain performed at the Grammys alongside Bela Fleck and Edgar Meyer, proving that rhythm truly has no boundaries.
When I played there, the old Bim House, I had hair.
6. Benny Golson, 95. His saxophone shaped jazz history, but his compositions went far beyond the jazz clubs. His music even made it into Hollywood blockbusters. Benny Golson, the legendary jazz saxophonist and composer, passed away on September 21st, 2024. He wasn't just a performer. He wrote some of jazz's most iconic pieces, including Killer Joe and Whisper Not. His work became a staple in films and TV, with his compositions appearing in everything from The Terminal to classic jazz recordings. Golson was one of the few jazz musicians who successfully blended bebop, soul, and cinematic scoring. He played alongside greats like John Coltrane and Dizzy Gillespie, yet always maintained his own unique voice in the world of jazz. Benny Golson is one of the only jazz musicians to have written more than 300 compositions, many of which became standards still played today. 5. Phil Lesh, 84. His bass lines weren't just notes, they were a journey. Without him, the Grateful Dead wouldn't have sounded the same. Phil Lesh, the legendary bassist for Grateful Dead, passed away on October 25th, 2024. He wasn't a typical rock bassist. his jazz-inspired melodic approach transformed how bass was played in rock music. Tracks like Scarlet Begonias and Dark Star featured his complex, improvisational playing, making every live performance unique. Lesh wasn't just a musician, he was a pioneer of the Dead's legendary live culture, helping create one of the most devoted fan bases in music history. His influence stretched far beyond rock, inspiring generations of jam bands. Phil Lesh was originally a classical musician who had never played bass before joining Grateful Dead. He learned on the job and changed rock forever.
No, man, but look, we take his stuff and take it to another level.
4. Quincy Jones, 91. He wasn't just a music producer, he was a mastermind behind some of the biggest hits in history. His genius shaped modern music as we know it. Quincy Jones, the legendary producer, composer, and musician, passed away on November 3rd, 2024. His fingerprints are all over the music industry. He produced Michael Jackson's Thriller, the best-selling album of all time, and worked with icons like Frank Sinatra, Ray Charles, and Aretha Franklin. His career spanned over 7 decades, revolutionizing jazz, pop, and film scores. Jones also broke barriers as one of the first black composers in Hollywood, scoring films and TV shows that reshaped entertainment history. His influence is inescapable, whether in hip-hop samples, movie soundtracks, or classic records. Quincy Jones holds 28 Grammy Awards, making him one of the most awarded producers of all time. 3. Kris Kristofferson, 88. He wrote some of country music's greatest songs, but his life was just as legendary as his lyrics. His journey took him from soldier to superstar. Kris Kristofferson, the country singer, songwriter, and actor, passed away on September 28, 2024. Before music, he was a Rhodes Scholar and an Army helicopter pilot. But he gave it all up to chase his songwriting dreams, starting as a janitor at Columbia Records. His persistence paid off when Johnny Cash recorded Sunday Mornin' Comin' Down, launching his career. He went on to write Me and Bobby McGee, one of the most beloved country songs of all time. Beyond music, he had a successful acting career, starring in A Star Is Born, 1976. Kristofferson once landed a helicopter in Johnny Cash's backyard just to hand him a demo tape. Talk about dedication.
And I thought, you know what, bit of liquid courage, I'll just have a few drinks. That's where it always
2.
starts.
Liam Payne, 31. From boy band heartthrob to global pop star, his voice defined a generation, but his sudden passing left fans in complete shock. Liam Payne, former One Direction member, tragically passed away on October 16, 2024. His rise to fame was meteoric, from a hopeful contestant on The X Factor to one of the biggest pop stars in the world. One Direction became a global phenomenon, selling over 70 million records, and Payne's deep, smooth vocals were a key part of their success. After the band's hiatus, he launched a solo career, releasing hits like Strip That Down. But behind the scenes, he faced personal struggles, battling mental health issues and the pressures of stardom. His unexpected passing devastated fans worldwide, reminding us how fleeting fame and life can be. One Direction holds the record for being the first band ever to have 4 albums debut at #1 on the Billboard charts in consecutive years.
Convent was not pleasant because I wasn't a Catholic or anything when I went there.
1. Marianne Faithfull, 78. She was the original rock muse, a singer, actress, and poet who lived a life wilder than any rock star, but few knew her tragic struggles. Marianne Faithfull, the British pop icon, passed away on January 30th, 2025. She rose to fame in the 1960s with As Tears Go By, a song written for her by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. But her life took a darker turn. She fell into homelessness and addiction, nearly losing everything. Yet she made an astonishing comeback, reinventing herself with critically acclaimed albums like Broken English. Her husky, world-weary voice became her signature, proving she was more than just a rock muse. She was a survivor. Even in her final years, she remained a fierce, poetic presence in music. Marianne Faithfull was once considered for the role of Ophelia in Hamlet, but her wild lifestyle made producers hesitate. That was shocking, right? If you want more deep dives into music legends, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Drop a comment on which name surprised you most. Don't stop now. Watch this next video right here.